My name is Khadijah Lashaun, and I am the Black guidance counselor that my community needs. I'm a strategic investor and CEO. I make money in my sleep, and I teach others how to do the same. I share my knowledge, talents, and resources with others. So if you're in need of that motivation or courage to start following your own path, look no further. My intention is to share as much value with you all as possible and to show you that there are many different paths to happiness and many different paths to wealth. You just have to find the one that's right for you.
I'm doing well.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be late. I apologize. That was my impression of a British accent.
We got mixed up. It's fine. Clearly, there was a bit of a miscommunication there with timing. Of course, we're on the other side of the world, kind of.
Yeah.
So it's totally fine.
All right. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I was just getting myself prepared. I'm trying to do an American accent, write down a little shit, but
you don't have to. You don't have to. I like your accent.
I do that a lot. I really do play about with my accents.
Yeah.
Just my character.
I hear that. I'm the same way. Honestly, I just break out with a British accent randomly. I don't know why. It's like another side of me, like.
I heard it when you said, I apologize. I heard it.
Do you believe it though?
Yeah, it was believable.
Okay. Okay.
Was mine believable?
We'll do it again. Let me hear.
Oh shit, you put me on the spot. I can't do it now.
It's okay. No, I'm the same way. I get all like, because this. I feel like I can turn it on like, hello, hold on. I have to have something to say, then I can bring it in, but
okay.
All right. Are you ready to get started though?
Yeah, I was going to ask, what star sign are you before we start?
Say it again.
Your horoscope, your star sign?
I don't know what my star sign. I don't know sun and moon. I know there's different names, but I just know I'm an Aries.
You're Aries. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm an Aries. What are you?
I'm a Virgo, but my so there's a south node and north node. My north node, my south node was Libra, so that's who I was before, and now my north node is Aries. So
okay, so we're connecting there. That's good. How do you know how do you know what you used to be?
So basically, on your astrology chart, whatever star sign you are now is basically you have to look at your astrology chart to find out what you was before, and then you can find out what. So basically, you're Aries now. You can find out what your north node was, what you was before, and then your south node, what you're moving towards. So what sort of energy you're meant to be moving towards. So I'm meant to be moving towards an Aries energy. Aries energy is very fiery, very independent. Don't fuck with me. I'm a boss bitch energy. Yeah. I like it. I like it.
All right, cool. I like that too. I like to hear that.
Agree, right?
Yeah, I completely agree. Absolutely. Hey everyone, welcome to the Black Creator Podcast. This is Khadijah Lashaun, also known as your Black Guidance Counselor. I have a very special guest with me today. She is a spiritual medium, a psychic medium, as well as a spiritual healer. And she is here to talk to you about her journey as an entrepreneur, as well as her spiritual journey as well. So welcome, TT, also known as SinthesisChronicles. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. Thank you so much for introducing me and welcome me on your podcast, Khadijah. I really appreciate everything that you do, full stop, you as a person.
No problem. This is random, but what does full stop mean? I've always wondered.
Oh, so it's like period. You know how you lot say period?
Okay.
We say full stop in England.
Okay. So you are in England. What part of England are you in?
I'm from London, so I'm from central, from the heart of London.
You know what? Yeah. I'm gonna have to plan a trip to meet you one day, because London is like the top place that I've always wanted to visit. So, and I have a little bit of the British accent, a little bit, just a little bit. But I want to practice. I want to practice around people who really have a British accent. That way, I could perfect it. But Okay. I did have a little icebreaker for you. I took a couple of screenshots of some posts that you had put up, and I wanted to like get like your backstory behind the post, if that makes sense. So like I'm gonna read the post, and then you tell me in your like in a different way, what does that mean to you? You know what I mean? Because I feel like I
How
only
many do you
have
have?
I only have like 6. Is that is
I only have like 6. Only. Okay,
because
go.
I was just like, I want to get inside of your brain a little bit more. You know, I want to know, and then also the audience, they kind of want to know too, because maybe they've never seen your content before. So I'll put a screenshot on the screen when I edit it, and then
Okay.
but the first one I have, and this one it kind of resonated with me, but I didn't know what you meant. So it says, knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darkness of other people. So tell me a little bit what that means, because you said your
Okay.
own darkness. So I guess your
Yeah.
dark side.
Yeah, so basically, in my mind, because obviously the way I see it, we all have our own perception. None of us are born the same. We're not raised the same. We all have our own circumstances that we go through in life, right? So, depending on what you've been through in life, it teaches you a bit about yourself. So, when you're not feeling so secure in yourself, so when you have insecurities, it will teach you more about yourself, right? So, that insecurity that you have, it's either you work on it or you let it consume you, just like everything in life. That's the way that I see it, to be honest. So basically, yeah, that's pretty much it, you know.
Okay. So as a follow-up to that, like what is something, like what is one side of you, like maybe your darkness that you had to face, that you had to own up to yourself? Like what's something, and you don't have to
Um,
get too in detail if you don't feel comfortable.
okay, so no, it's totally fine. I'm quite a straightforward person anyway, so I don't mind answering as much as I can.
Okay.
So my thing with me is that as I was growing up, I did not love myself. So that was a dark side that I've had to learn to embrace, you know. My flaws, I'm a Virgo, so Virgos come across as perfectionists. We like to have things a certain way. And if I don't have things a certain way, I kind of well, I used to not be able to accept myself. So, like me growing up and learning, you know, it's okay to have flaws. It's okay to have, you know, scars or um, hidden issues that you might not be able to deal with on an everyday basis. But once you start to accept it and be like, you know, it's okay, because none of us are perfect at all. Perfect is not even really a word. It's something that's been made up to make you feel insecure. Because if you think about it, even celebrities, the way that they look, they do a lot of editing. So how can we sit there and look at ourselves and think, oh, I hate this about myself, when there's no perfection in the world anyway? We all have I'm not a bit detailed right now, but I see a lot of this thing. My son shows me a lot of stuff like people popping spots and, you know, pus coming out and stuff like that, because
Yeah.
we all have them problems in our realistic life. We all have spots and scars and things like this. This is a natural thing. So once you learn to embrace, this is who I am, you know, like body conscious sort of stuff. This is who I am. Love me for me, and then I will show everybody else how to love me, you know?
Okay. I like that. I really do. All right, cool. The next one I have is, okay. So it says, and I feel like I know the answer, but I just want you to give it in your words, because for people to hear too. Sometimes answers come to you in ways that only you can understand. That is why it's so important to have a clear mind to receive and understand the message. So I'm guessing you're getting at like meditation.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, well, when I was younger, I was quite a pessimistic thinker. And that's because I allowed everybody's energies, thoughts, and feelings to consume me as an empath, because I'm an empath also, until I learned to embrace my power, because I think to be an empath is a superpower. I don't think it's a weakness. I think I'm able to feel other people's feelings and take that on, but not let it consume me again, you know? So once I was able to learn how to meditate and sit still, which is a hard thing to do. So when people say, meditation, meditate. Meditation is not something that's easy, and there's different ways of meditation. Everyone has their own way to meditate. There's different forms of meditation. Meditation can be you being in the shower and you're just very calm within yourself and you're comfortable within yourself. Then messages do come through because the universe is always sending signals and signs to you through your guides, like I'm doing right now. Angel numbers made me do it because I've seen angel numbers for a long time. And those angel numbers have helped me to become more aware of myself, less pessimistic, and more aware of things that I am able to change in my own realm and to create a better way of living, because I believe that we create our own heaven on this planet. You can create your own heaven or your own hell. And if you're a person that's always thinking negative, you're going to attract negative. And I'm not going to be ignorant and say that, oh, I'm going to be positive all the time, because you thinking positive all the time, oh yeah, sunshine and lollipops and roses, does not mean that only positive things are going to come towards you. Negative things will come as well, because there's people that do want that sort of energy from you, But once you're able to clear your mind and feel comfortable within yourself and just, chill and vibe with the surroundings, then the messages will come through to you, and you'll be able to see things a bit more clearer in a different light.
Okay. That makes complete sense. That really does. Would you say that with that, the angel numbers made me do it? Is that is that a series that you're doing, or is that something that what's that?
So with angel numbers made me do it, I'll explain a bit more, just to go a bit more into depth for people to understand what I'm trying to do with it. So as I said, me being pessimistic, I started to see angel numbers, and I decided to basically, Synthesis started as a clothing brand because I didn't want to show people that I was a psychic medium, because I'm a bit weirded out about that, because people see psychic mediums and people that do tarot as devil worshippers and stuff like that. But so I wanted to start as a clothing part of my clothing brand. But what I decided to do with it is put it on T-shirts right now to try and help other people to understand when they're seeing these numbers are there to try and help you to understand that there's a positive within the negative that you might be going through. Your guides are always there to help you to see something better than you're seeing, to see the bigger picture, basically, So as I say, like you said, it's a series, this series is an addition to our clothing brand. So I just want to help people to understand that our angels are around us, and they want us to see the good within our situation at the moment. Does that make sense? Did I answer your question?
Yeah. That makes complete sense. I think it's also it's like a double, I don't know what the word is, but like the angel numbers made you do it is like why you're doing it, but it's also called the angel numbers made me do it because you're sending those numbers to other people who may need to see those numbers and may need to see the bigger picture. So I think it's a very good and very positive message. And I love that, because I had saw a couple videos on your page about it, and I was just like, I don't know what she means, but so, okay, that makes sense. That makes complete sense.
Great.
All right. All right. It says, pay attention to patterns in your, first off, I also want to say thank you for being vulnerable enough to share some bits about your life. I know people listening can definitely appreciate that, because it's not something you have to do, and being vulnerable is it's a task. So I appreciate you just being willing, to share. It says, pay attention to patterns in your life. When something negative continues to repeat itself, it often means you have yet to learn the lesson. So with that one, it's kind of clear and straightforward. So I guess for me, I would want to know, what's a pattern that you noticed in your life that you had to stop, or you had to stop the cycle, or whatever it was?
Okay, let me think. But to be honest, because like I said, I'm quite a straightforward person, and I do this work that I do, and I hope to be as straightforward as I can, so people can come to me and allow them to open up in front of me. So I'll be open when I'm speaking. One thing I had to stop doing was trying to be there for everybody else before I could be there for myself, because I've learned that when you're there for everyone else, you lose out on what you need to do. You don't really pick up on your signs and your messages, and you don't allow the right things to come to you because you're too busy looking for what everybody else needs apart from what you need. So it's about really being a bit selfish. And people hear being selfish as a bad thing. I don't think being selfish is a bad thing, because if you wasn't selfish and you're forever selfless, you're never going to get anything accomplished, you know, because you're always looking at what everybody else needs and how to support that person. You're not sure if you're giving that person so much help, and one, they might not want that help, so you're just wasting your time. Two, that person might take the help and not be able to give you anything back in return, you know. So it's more about just, in my mind, I had to look at who was really there for me, and who actually cared about what I was doing, or how what I was doing was impacting in my own life as well.
That's powerful. That's powerful. I feel like a lot of people can relate to that. You know, just like wanting to give your all to even in like relationships and stuff like that. Like, you can be so busy and so involved with your partner that you're not really focusing on you. You
Definitely.
know, that's kind of been a reason why I've had to end like quite a few relationships, because it's just like either they didn't see the vision that I saw, or, you know, I just had to put me first, you know. Sometimes it's just what you have to do. That makes sense. I only have like 3 more. So it says, okay, this one was deep. I was just like, I need a little bit more with this one. So it says, holding on to anything is like holding your breath. You will suffocate. The only way to get anything in the physical inner universe is by letting go of it, and it will come to you.
Okay. So with this, it's called the art of detachment.
Okay.
Once we start to hold on, it's like, I'm going to make like a reference, I think it's called, or example. If you're in a relationship and it's always like a tumultuous relationship, and you're trying to hold on to someone so much, you start noticing the more that you hold on to somebody, the more they want to let go, you know, because it's too much. Like, I believe that we are all free spirits. We've come here to do something, clear up our own karma in this realm, and become a better version of ourselves once we allow ourselves to understand that. So the more that we hold on to something, the more that we're saying that we don't have it, if that makes sense. So if I'm going to sit there and say, oh my gosh, I want this so bad, I want this so bad, you're telling the universe that you don't already have it. This is why we have that thing saying, everything I want, I already have.
Yeah. I got
it.
Okay.
So basically, that's basically what it is. You need to understand that everything that you want is within you already, you know, even though you might not see it right now, there's dimensions. So you might not be living it at this moment, but you're already living it in a different dimension. You're just working towards it with your higher self, you know, to get to that place.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. You dropping some gems, like some real solid information. I'm like, okay, now it's like connections are being made in my head. I'm like, okay, that makes sense, because I also feel that I had gone through a period where I was like really like doing affirmations every day, like, and it was a lot of affirmations that I was doing at the time. Like, it was a long list. And I found myself like starting to get into a state of like depression, because everything I was like trying to attract was just like, so it felt so far away, you know. So I had to like kind of pause on the daily, like I still do affirmations, but not like as intensive as I used to do. And it's kind of like as I go, with the numbers and everything. But I just feel that you're right, because when you're trying to hold on to something so hard, you're just like, it makes sense. It makes complete sense what you're saying, because it's like kind of like with the manifestations, you have to like believe that you already have it.
That's it. Because at the end of the day, the universe and your guides are already conspiring on your behalf. So if you're sitting there saying, oh, I want it so bad, like they're sitting there saying, like, you already have it, just chill.
Yeah,
let us do the work, flow, like enjoy it. And that's why a lot of the time people say, trust the process. And because we're human, we want things right now. On this planet, this realm, we want things so quickly. Spirit does not work like that. The Most High does not work like that. It's when you need it, not when you want it, So yeah.
Okay. You are a very wise woman. Very
Oh, thank
wise.
you.
Okay, so the next one says, okay. And it says maturity is learning to walk away from people and situations that threaten your peace of mind, self-respect, values, morals, and self-worth. So that one's kind of straightforward again. I don't know if you want to share an example of like something you had to walk away from, or people maybe you had to walk away from.
There's loads, to be honest.
Loads. Hold
Yeah,
on
I
one
have loads,
second.
but I'll just go with one.
Do you is it a delay on your side?
No, no, no.
Okay. Go ahead. You're good. My bad.
Okay, so basically, what I believe with that quote is like sometimes people are around you and they can see what you can achieve. I've said this to my son a long time, like even from he was quite young. I've been trying to say to him, people see who you are already. We might not see it because we're living in this body and we're still yet to learn about ourselves. But people can already see who you are and they can see what you um, are about, really, like your light. Everyone has a light unless you're a really dark person.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has a light, right? So if you've got a light and it shines bright, maybe sometimes some lights shine brighter than others. That's why they call them celebrities and stars, right? So with people seeing your light, some people can stop you or try to attempt to stop you on your path. We all have a journey, we all have a path, we all have things that we have to, like I said before, clear up, like karma. Um, I will take, for instance, like family members. I've had some family members I've had to let go because like some people can be users, and sometimes it's not always a stranger that will hurt you the most. Sometimes it can be a family member that can hurt you the most. So if you clear these people out because they're not gravitating on your energy field or they don't respect you for what you're trying to do for yourself, as long as it's something positive. None of us are perfect. We all mess up. We all make mistakes. My mum always said to me, once is a mistake, two, anything over twice, anything over one time is because you enjoy it. So if you keep on doing it over and over again, you enjoy that. It's not a mistake anymore. We all know what we're doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, letting people go, like, is this a normal thing? Some people come into your life to teach you things. Some people come in to help you. And some people do come in to literally take from you or try and stop you. Like, I believe there's agents, literally agents on this planet that can see that you're trying to do something good and they don't want to see you do maybe better than them or do something good, So they get jealous and they just try and stop you from reaching where you need to get to. So let's clear them out,
Yeah.
Basically it's like we all go through this in life. We all go through a time. If you're connected to your guides, there's an obviously the Most High. When I talk about guides, I obviously incorporate the Most High because the Most High sends your guides to you to fulfill your destiny and do things for a better purpose. So when your guides and you are connected, you will have a time where there's people that are going to filter out. It's a cleansing process, just like life, right? It's like you having a shower in the morning. You have to cleanse yourself off to start the day. So through life, for you to be reborn in a way, and have new beginnings, you have to cleanse away what no longer serves you. And that can be people, places, and things.
And it's like a continuous process.
100%. But I believe that we never stop learning until the day that we die. And even when we do die, we're still learning because I've had someone in my past that was alive that died come back to me and apologize for things that they done when they were in the physical realm.
Can
It's
you
just a learning thing.
can you tell me a little bit more about that? Like how did that
So that
change?
was my father. Me and my father never really got along a lot when I was younger. So he noticed that things that he done was not the best things when he passed on, and he came and he apologized to me, you know, because at the end of the day, some people can be very stubborn in life. We all go through things, and as Black people, I'm being very specific because I can't talk for any other race. I'm a Black woman. We go through a lot of trauma. we've been through a lot of trauma. Our heritage, our, you know, ancestors have been through a lot of trauma. So when you're young and you don't know how to handle emotionally, mentally certain things, you then put the burden. Oh, can you see me?
I can see you
Sorry
now.
about that.
You're good.
Okay, sorry about that. Apologize. You then put the burden on your children. Some people do it without realizing, and some do it because they just don't care, to be honest. So that was something that he had to learn, and clearly he did learn it because he was able to come back and apologize for certain things that happened when he was here.
How did that affect you?
When he said sorry,
Yeah.
oh, that didn't affect me in any way. I was just like, okay, cool, because I already forgave him when he was here.
Okay. So it was
If
just
I
like
wasn't
a,
able to forgive him, yeah, if I wasn't able to forgive him when he was here, I wouldn't be at the place that I am right now, which is carrying on with my life. I would have allowed myself to be stuck, you know, and I can't afford to do that. I have a child, so.
I understand. I understand. That was deep. Wow. Um, I want to ask you the last one, but I have like a follow-up question. I wrote it down, so
Okay.
I'm gonna come back to it. But okay. So this one kind of goes along with the first one that we were talking about a little bit. It says, instead of fighting your inner demons, examine them with curiosity and learn why they are there. Offer them love and understanding each and every time they visit. So with that one, I want to hear a little bit of what that means to you. And then I also want to hear like if you have an example of like an inner demon you had to accept or observe with curiosity, you know?
Okay, so like you said, it goes with the first question that you asked about, you know, your inner demons. So I will reference back to, I won't say the same thing, I'll say something different. I will say about my confidence, because obviously I said insecurities, confidence, kind of the same, but it is actually different. I wasn't able to accept how confident I am as a person because I was always looking at myself thinking, if I show my confidence, people are not going to like me, you know? Because sometimes some people, like you're an Aries, and I said I'm moving towards Aries energy with my North Node. So Aries are very confident people. Like when they're ready, they just, you know, they just really go for it. So with me accepting that, you know, with that inner demon that I had saying to me, oh, you're not confident, you know, blah, 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 because I had insecurities, that makes me not confident. So I had to accept, you know what? All right, I accept my insecurities. Now I know I'm confident. I will sit beside that demon and be like, hi, what you saying now? Do you know what I mean? Hi, we're friends. Like,
Oh,
I
like
understand
challenge
this
that
time.
side, like
Yeah,
challenge the
we have
thought
to.
process.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, if I don't take control of my thoughts will take control of me. And not every thought that I think is correct, you know? Not every thought that comes to me is my thought. Sometimes these thoughts are being channeled to me through other people. And this is where the spirituality part comes in, that I believe in. We get psychic attacks, you know. Telepathy is real. Sometimes I'll just be honest, like I've had times where I've had heard whispers with my clairaudience, people saying certain things like, oh, you're ugly and, you know, you're not going to do anything with yourself. I've had to be like, I'm not sure if I could swear, but I'll be like, fuck you. I'm good,
You're
you
good.
know?
You're good.
Yeah, oh, okay, I'm all right. So like I'll be like, fuck you, whatever. I'm not listening to what you've got to say. I'm whatever it is that is going on within me, I'm gonna still try my best to be the best that I can, you know, because there's nobody that is gonna come here and tell me who I am when you don't really know who I am or what I've been through or how far I'm willing to go. So yeah, basically that's it. Yeah.
Okay. So you said something about you believe in psychic attacks. So could it be possible that like those negative thoughts that everybody experiences negative thoughts, especially thoughts like that, like just like you're not pretty, you're ugly, just those negative thoughts. Is it possible that those are thoughts that maybe we learned, or like how did you know that that wasn't you thinking that thought, you know?
When I was younger, they were more so coming from a part of me, but also a part of other people. Because, like I said before, with the psychic attacks, when people know who you are and what you're capable of, it does intimidate other people because not everybody is able to vibrate on a certain level. So it's about using your oh God, discernment, you know. And once I learned how to use my discernment, because that's something that we all learn if you're like religious, you learn from church and stuff. We all talk about discernment is something that we need to learn the difference between.
Can
And
you,
when I started notice,
I'm
sorry.
sorry, could you say a little bit more about what discernment means for anybody who doesn't understand?
Okay, so in my mind, discernment is when you're getting messages from the Most High, you know, your guides, and you will be able. There's a good side and a bad side of everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So discernment is you being able to understand what's coming from spirit and your higher self and your intuition, your knowing that it's best for you. Like when I talk about discernment in my mind, I don't I know that if it's something that doesn't make me feel comfortable, that's not coming from me and my loving guides that are looking after me and my most high. If it's something that's making me feel uncomfortable, if I'm questioning what I'm hearing, then it's not correct because the most high is only coming from a place of love. So your guides are only coming from a place of love. If you feel comfortable with what you're hearing and what you're feeling, then you know it's real. If you feel uncomfortable with it, then it's just a lot of bullshit.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Sorry, I got a potty mouth.
No,
Clearly.
you're fine. Actually, I like potty mouse. I like realness. um, okay, so segueing a little bit into the question. So, how did you know that you were a medium or had the ability to be a medium? How did that come about?
Right. So from a young age, I always felt very different. Um, I didn't feel I wasn't comfortable in my skin. I didn't like my body, so I had a bit of body dysmorphia. Things that I would think would be a bit outlandish. So I would say things to people, and I'd be like, "What the hell? Where did that come from?" As a young child, you know, what is she saying? So I knew a bit then that I was a tiny bit different than other people. And also, my mum bought me two big teddies. They were big pink elephant teddies, and I named them Jake and Louisa. And these two teddies used to speak to me, and I used to literally play with them and speak to them back. No one really thought there was anything about it because obviously you're a child. I have friends. There was were my imaginary friend, but the way that I took it was to a whole different degree, clearly. Um, and yeah, so as I grew up in my life, I was kind of reclusive. I would like keep myself to myself quite a bit and not really entertain what other people were doing. I would try to just keep to myself.
Mm-hmm.
And as I grew up, I started discovering that I was a bit different because obviously me being having my empathy, my empathetic powers and stuff, I would feel other people's energies very, very deep, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
I didn't understand this obviously after a while, but growing up, I had to start delving deeper into myself to understand I'm like this for a reason. This is not happening to me because how can I say it? This is just what it is. This is for a reason. I have these abilities which are superpowers, I believe. And so with that, I started to delve deeper into my spirituality slowly and slowly, and just not allowing other people to put their thoughts on who I was. You know, I knew that I had something different about me. So I would seclude myself a little bit to try and understand myself a bit more. And as I kept on doing it, as I got older, I just started just understanding myself and accepting who I am, you know. Being a psychic medium is not an easy thing because there was a point where I thought I was going crazy because I was hearing stuff. And obviously, when you start hearing things, the first thing someone's going to say to you is that you're schizophrenic, right? So I didn't want to be labeled as a schizophrenic person. So I kept that to myself. I would see things. I didn't want people to know that I see things because, again, I would be labeled. And so I got to the point and I was thinking, you know what, I don't really care what people think because I'm going to be living in hell if I don't share my truth. If I'm not going to be authentic with myself, there's no one that's going to be authentic with me, one, and I'm never going to live a good life to be able to raise my son to be his authentic self.
Mm.
So yeah.
That's powerful. I like that. You just embraced who you are, and you took the time to learn more to accept it, most likely,
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
This is a random question, but when you were a kid, did you read books? Were you a reader?
No, I
No?
was a father.
Me too. It's okay. No judgment here.
It's the Aries, see the Aries.
Yeah. I can agree with you there. So what kind of things did you do in your free time as a kid? Like what are the things that you were interested in?
Okay, so from the age of 5, I started dancing around Europe with my grandmother and grandfather's band, because my grandmother and grandfather are from Uruguay, so South America, and we used to dance candombe. So that's a South American dance that does it's like a ritual dance to the gods, basically.
Okay.
And so I was doing that. So that really played a major role in my life. I never knew what was going on until I got older, which is a whole different story. But that played a major role to my life. So I started dancing from the age of 5 to 15. Dance has always been there for me. I used to write lyrics. I used to go to studio and sing and stuff like that. I haven't got the greatest voice anymore, but I still have abilities. So yeah, this just very creative. I've always been a creative person. I've always noticed that if I'm not creating, I'm not happy,
Mm.
you know? So I try my best to be creative when I can. And it's only been recently that I've learned that I can be creative and not be perfect and still push the creativity out of there, because there's always someone that's going to appreciate what you're doing, even though it might not be to the highest perfection.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just them sort of things, and fighting, but that's something different.
I understand. No worries. We can think it. Maybe we could get into that a little later.
I was an angry child.
I understand. We all it's likely a result of like some type of trauma. The anger. It's always a source. There's people don't just walk around being angry for no reason.
No, I,
It's
I believe that the anger that we all have inside of us is just like everybody reacts in a certain way to what's going on in our lives. We how can I say it? Yeah, basically it's just a way of expressing how we're feeling, because you don't know how to really express how you feel. It's
mm-hmm.
emotional intelligence. If you're able to build emotional intelligence as you get older, you don't need to do them sort of things. A person that's always gonna flip quickly is because you're emotionally unintelligent. But that's
Mm.
another conversation anyway.
That is. I actually started looking into that more because I do feel that I have quite a bit ways to grow when it comes to the emotional intelligence, because
Mhm.
I do find myself like just responding or like doing things and not really sure why I'm doing things, or like what feelings are motivating me to do those things. So I think
Yeah.
you're onto something there. Absolutely. Um, okay, so tell me a little bit more about Synthesis Chronicles, and how did you start? What was the intention? I know you said you started doing the clothing line and everything, but what was your feeling that made you want to even start that?
Okay, so right, let's go back. Basically, if I'm gonna be right, I'm trying to just pinpoint so I can get it clear, so
Take
it's
your
not
time.
just all jumbled up.
You're good.
Um, Basically, I lost my property where I was living. My son was like 5 and a half, around that sort of age, and I had to go and live back with my mom. He wasn't able to go to school. I lost my job, so we literally had nothing. I'm a 20-something-year-old woman moving back in with her mother. I'm an independent person. I've not really relied on my parents that way, apart from the usual stuff that you're meant to rely on your parents about. So doing that, it was like I had to start again, a brand new beginning. So with living with my mom, I was quite upset that I had nothing. But then I started one night I was crying in the bedroom that I was living with my mom, the next room. And
Mm-hmm.
then I started feeling a really sense of calm and peace came over me. And I didn't know why this was happening. I started feeling grateful for what I do have and not what I lost. So with that, I just started thinking, okay, what can I do to make the situation better? So I started affirming to myself that I am going to get a job. My son's going to go back to school and we're going to get our own property. With me being grateful for what I already have and not what looking at the past and what I've lost, because I believe everything happens for a reason. Things started coming for me slowly. I found a job. I got myself and my son into school, and eventually, like a year or so afterwards, we got a property which I'm living in now. Um, but when I was at the job, oh, thank you so much. You're so lovely. um,
Congrats.
thank you so much, sweetie. I appreciate your loveliness. with the with the job that I had, I was working there, and on my lunch break, I would always bring a book with me because I'm a scribe. I like to write a lot, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I brought a book with me, and I started getting visions in my head. So I got the vision of my logo, you know, the Eye of Horus and the Eye of Ra, and I put it together with the Ankh. I literally just drew it out, and then I was like, "Oh, this looks pretty. You know, what can I do with this?"
Mm-hmm.
And then my guides were just telling me, "All right, start delving into looking at what it really means." I started looking into it, and it was giving me all this knowledge. And with that, I just started to progress forward with like African spirituality, because that's what it is, you know. So with African spirituality, I just started thinking, okay, what can I do with this? And then I asked someone that I knew if they knew anybody that can sort the logo out for me. I've drew it out. Can somebody do it with graphic design? Because I'm crap with that stuff. I'm not the greatest.
I
And
understand.
someone was able to do it for me, and I decided to put it on some clothes. And initially, like I said, it was meant to be a clothing line just to keep it very plain and simple. But I and my guides started to understand what I started to understand through my guides, that I had to put something more on top of it, a bit more emphasis into why I'm doing this. And um, I started to notice that it was something that really empowered me, you know, to want to change my life.
Mm.
And so with me doing that, I thought, if I've changed so much and I've grown so much just by drawing this out and studying this little minute bit of spiritual African spirituality, what else could I learn and how much could I teach other people? Because I believe in each one teach one.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's how I started with everything. And I just believe that it's a beautiful thing, you know, because it shows so much power. We have so much power in our culture that we're so unaware of because we're not taught the right stuff. So if I can try and express myself through synthesis and people can see that, maybe I can inspire some people, you know. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And you have. You are. You are inspiring.
Thank you.
You are inspiring people. I think the messages that you send, they're all like you're vibrating from a high level, you know, and you're sending those high vibrations, that high energy out to people, and people are receiving it. You know, that's why people are engaging, they're following, they're connecting with you,
Mhm.
probably DMing you, like, oh, what is this about? You know, so I think that you are doing what you say, you know, don't short sell yourself. Okay.
Thank you. Okay, cool.
I wanted to ask you, how long have you been on Instagram?
Okay, so I've been on Instagram since 2000. If I'm going to talk about my accounts, because I had the first account, which is Bejuguai Mariposa, um, I had that from 2013, roughly. Someone asked me to get on Instagram, and I was like, no, I don't want to do it. And I jumped on that account. Didn't really get anything much out of it. I wasn't really pushing who I really am out there. Um, then I started Synthesis LDN. So Synthesis LDN is where Synthesis Chronicles came from, as you're on that page as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that was 2016. I started that page, I think, roughly. And Synthesis Chronicles, I've only started that in 2019 September.
Wow.
So yeah,
So it's like each one brought you closer and closer.
definitely. It's helped me to grow, you know, because at the end of the day, when I started noticing law of attraction, energy and stuff like that, when I started actually putting it out there, I
Mm-hmm.
started noticing that it's literally is what it is. It comes back to you, you know. The more that I share with people, the more I embrace that energy and walk on that path, being deep in my faith, then it's growing slowly, but it's growing. I'd rather grow slowly and take my time than rush and fuck up, to be honest. So yeah.
Don't You started in 2019 and you're up to almost 30K. You are not growing slowly. Like that's pretty to me, that's pretty good because the last time I looked, it was like at 14K. So when I
Yeah.
looked again and it was at almost like 27K, I'm like, okay, so you are progressing, you know? That's why I say don't short sell yourself, okay? Because
No, I do see that I'm progressing, but it's just that I'm not saying that I'm not saying that it's not progressing. I do see that, but I do believe in moving slow. I'm quite a humble person. I don't like to come across as like a big shot or anything like that. Of
I
course, I can
understand.
see a lot of blessings, and I'm always grateful for every single blessing that I'm getting. But like I said, I don't mind if it's going to take, you know, 3 to 5 years for me to get to certain places that I need to get to, because I don't want to move fast and make the wrong decisions, because what I'm trying to do is bigger than me. I'm just a tiny little pawn in what I want to do, because there's so many people out in the world that I want to influence and I want to help with this. If I don't take my time to get to know myself also and do it in a good way, then it is going to mess up, and I don't want to do that, because like I said, it's bigger than me. I didn't just create Synthesis basically just for me. There's so much more that I'm trying to do with this, you know. So yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay. That's really cool. I was gonna say it's kind of like what you something I heard recently. What you're saying is like you're willing to take the time to learn yourself and improve yourself and better yourself before, and then build as you go instead of trying to like kind of fix
Impressed.
everybody. Yeah, impress
Yeah,
everybody. Like
yeah,
do what you got to do to build that foundation. Take that
of course.
time because and this is kind of related is there was a somebody I heard him talk. He was just like the question was how do we fix the wealth gap in America? How do we fix the wealth gap? Because there's a major problem there, and it's especially disproportionate against Black people, you know.
Mhm.
And he was saying the way you do it is fix yourself first. You know,
That's it.
fix yourself first, fix your family first, then y'all can impact the rest of the world. Like you can't impact the rest of the world if you're still not working on you, you know.
At the end of the
So
day, everything you're saying right now, I actually done a few things about this. I kind of don't want to say it, but I'm gonna, because we're on here.
you're good.
Um, I was literally, I typed something out. I'm actually gonna post it today since I've said it now. I was basically saying no one wants to know you, you know, until you've done something, until you're doing something, you know. So it's about you taking your time to do what you got to do for you,
Mm-hmm.
because you're going to do it because that's what you want. If I don't take my time, instead of rushing out and doing what everybody else is doing, again, this is not me shining judgment on people, but right now, a lot of people are doing this. Let me show my body, let me get my ass done, let me, you know, show everything that I have, and OnlyFans and this sort of stuff to get money and get famous, you know, clout, so they say.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if I start moving in that direction, you're moving too quick, it dies out. If you
Yeah.
get something so quick, nothing worth having that's going to last long, that's about longevity, is going to come quick, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So let me take my time, just being my original self, get to know myself, use my abilities to help other people. With me helping other people, I learn a lot about myself. And then I'm able to give back to my child through the income that I get, you know. I can
Mm-hmm.
fix my environment. With me fixing my environment makes me feel like a better person. With me
Yeah.
going out and having certain things, I'm able to maybe eat better, you know, or do certain things, go and see certain things, travel, just for my spirit. I believe travel is all about a spiritual path, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because I believe when we travel, we are calling back parts of ourselves. in different places of the world. So with all of this that I'm trying to do at the moment is just building myself up to be a better version of myself, getting to know myself, going backwards to go forwards. And with me having all of that, I can then go and speak to people and say, all right, I understand because I've been in that situation. How are we going to help you to get to the next step now? What do you need to do for yourself to get out of that situation? And people will look at me with more understanding because they'll be like, okay, she's been there, you know, so then she is actually able to help. Nobody cares if I'm doing this and I'm acting, you know, like I have everything, but I really don't have anything.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that. People want to see proof, and not like I'm out here to prove anything to anyone but myself, but it does help when they can see that you are elevating yourself, even if that takes how long it takes, you know.
That makes complete sense. That makes complete sense. It's like you had to go on the journey yourself to be able to speak from it, and being able to speak from experiences, it makes people more willing to hear what you have to say, you know.
That's it. That's like the alchemist. The alchemist went around everywhere only to find out that everything was in themselves, you know. Everything they needed was in themselves. And this is why I say that I'm an alchemist, because for me to hate myself as a young child, to grow to love myself so much, and have understand that what I have been looking for this whole time has always been inside of me, which is my ability to talk to spirit, you know, as a psychic medium, do tarot, and just be myself. That's all it's about. And like I was saying, I was in the shower. I was like, I talk to my phone a lot. So I was in the shower and I done a little recording. I was saying, I'm not sounding a bit cheesy, it might do, but it's like Michael Jackson said, the man in the mirror, you know. You have to start with yourself, because at the end of the day, if you look in the mirror and you're not happy with looking at yourself in the mirror, there's a problem. You know, no matter what you look like, that doesn't matter. What's inside of you is that matters. And I'm gonna be totally honest, like we all have bad and good, all of us. None of us are perfect. None of us have just all good, you know. So when you're looking at yourself and thinking, okay, this is what's going on. I don't like this about me. How am I going to change this? You know, change my ways. If I don't change my ways, no one's coming to save me. No one's going to say, you know what, get up, blah, blah, blah. Well, there are people, because they're my guides, but my guides speak to me all the time telling me this, but there's no one physically going to come and force me to do certain things that I need to do on a day-to-day basis. If I don't want to get up because I want to stay in a depressive mode, which I have been before, it's only me keeping myself there. It's either I'm going to sit there and say, no, I don't want this no more. And I have to get my ass up and move, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's up to you. The choice is yours, you know? You are just such a wealth of knowledge. Another follow-up question for you is, okay, alchemy. For anybody who doesn't know what alchemy is, can you explain?
Okay, so alchemy in my mind is when you're transmuting energy. I'm a person that I have, and I probably will, like all of us, have seen dark times. I've been depressed. I've been on antidepressants. I've had stages where I couldn't get up, and I've got a little baby, and I used to like try and push my son to fall asleep after he's waking up and he's hungry, you know? So I've had to find myself to transmute that energy into love. Where there's hate, there's love, you know? Where there's dark times, there's the light. So with you being an alchemist, you're able to transmute certain things, just changing yourself to grow towards what you want to be, you know?
So, okay, that makes sense. I've never heard it put that way. I've read books about alchemy, but it wasn't like a textbook. It was like in a fiction novel or something like that. So I didn't know that it was really a thing, you know. I thought it was just like they made up the, you know.
Okay.
But how did you find out about alchemy, and like what pulled you in that direction?
Honestly, my guides, because I didn't have a bloody clue about this before. A lot of the stuff that I have learned, sorry about that. A lot of the things that I have learned on my journey has really come from my angels and my ascended masters. Obviously, my other guides that are around me, people that have passed before. They tell me that I'm able to do certain things and I have this ability. So it's this knowledge that they sent to me through my Akashic records that I've always had, because we all have Akashic records. It's about us tapping into it. That's our DNA that we've had from our ancestors that have been here before. And it's just being open and willing enough to accept who you really are, because at the end of the day, we all have stories that we have been cut off from because of something, oh, that's bad. I don't want you to delve into that because it's a bad thing. Or, oh, do you understand what I'm saying?
No, I understand. That makes sense. But how did you use your discernment to figure out if that was the right route for you? Like, what type of
Because it feels right.
feelings? It
just
felt
feels
right?
right.
Okay.
Yeah, because everything that I'm doing it from a place of love. I don't do things just because. I don't do things to be malicious or nasty towards other people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I'm doing that for them, that means I'm being like that towards myself. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's just whatever feels good to me, I'm gonna do. And that's what everybody should do in this world. If it's something that is ruining you, and you're hurting other people, clearly it's not a right thing to do. I mean, everybody deserves their just desserts at some point. Karma's a bitch, and she gonna be beautiful, in every way. But yeah, it just felt right to me to be able to give back whatever knowledge that I have been sent, because a lot of the stuff that I have been doing doesn't come from me, in the sense that this is not who I ever thought I was going to be. I didn't know that this was going to be my life. I'm going to be sitting here trying to help people, sending them messages and stuff like this. I never thought that. I had a totally different mindset of what I was going to do with my life. And at one point, I didn't even know what the hell I was going to do. I was sitting there crying my eyes out thinking, who the hell am I? So.
Okay. So talk me through that who am I moment that you had. What was it in your life that was conflicting? And what made you feel that helplessness, like that I don't know who I am? Like what was leading to that?
Majority of the time it was the people that I was around that I thought that loved me, but they didn't. This world is based on control. So if you can't control your mind and your actions, someone else will do it for you. So once I started to learn that I was in control, then I was able to take my power back. With me taking my power back, I was able to understand who I was. Before that, with me being around the wrong people, it also contributed to me being in the wrong space. So working, I would work myself ragged. I would do 12-hour shifts, and I've got a 7-year-old, just to make sure that my son has money. I was doing security work, so yeah, that wasn't easy. I got my security badge. I started working as a security officer in places, doing reception security, 12-hour shifts, wasn't able to see my son properly when he come home from after school club, no communication with my child. I was unhappy. My son was unhappy. He was acting out, and that really took a big toll on me and my son. Having a narcissistic partner did not help either. This is not something that I usually talk about, but I'm just going to be very vulnerable and very honest, because I do think that there's a lot of people that do go through this stuff, and they need to understand that it's something that can be changed. It doesn't have to be something that's ongoing in your life. So yeah, with all of those factors.
Hold on 1 second. You said what can be changed?
You understanding who you are and just moving forward, because I said that I had these things going on, but what can be changed is like how you see things. I saw that I was unhappy, so that can be changed with me being unhappy. So I saw that I was working long hours. My son was unhappy. I was unhappy. People that I was around wasn't the right people, and that can be changed. It depends on how much you want to change your life. And I was at a point where I was desperate to change my life, because if I wasn't going to change my life, I was going to be stuck in that cycle, and I wasn't trying to be stuck in that cycle because it was eating away at me, to be honest. It's like having I'm hearing like a flesh disease. eating away at your flesh,
Yeah, bacteria like eating away
That's
slowly
it.
but surely. Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
Literally that. That's literally what comes to my mind. So
So it's like it was eating
I was
away
in
at your
that,
self-worth. It was eating away at your
yeah,
your
my soul.
identity. Yeah.
My soul, literally, because we all have a soul. Well, majority of us, I can't say everybody, but anyway. we,
I know what you mean.
okay, good. Yeah, so with my soul was being dampened on, it wasn't the light that I have was not being shown properly. And you say that I'm a high vibrational person. I am a high vibrational person. I've been doing dancing from the age of 5. For you to step on the stage and make other people smile through dancing, that shows that you have that energy, and I've always had that. And as I've grown up, it got lost a bit. So if I'm going to allow myself to get lost in this world, um, that means I'm not caring about myself. And I had to learn how to care about myself to change things. And it's not just all about the money, because I'm working crazy hours, but I'm never seeing my child. He's not getting the right energy from me. I'm always tired, the wrong responses. He's not getting the right loving from me or the right understanding either, when you're in a certain situation. So yeah, I just had to change that, and I had to embrace who I was and just grow. Yeah.
That makes sense. That makes complete sense. So okay. Um, Talk me through that transition from you're working security, working them long hours, not really spending as much time with your son as you would like, to now you have the freedom. How did that change happen? And yeah, just talk me through how that change happened.
Oh, I'm so glad you asked this. Okay, so I was working in London in a reception for I think it was a shipping or oil company, something like that. I can't remember. And I was working there for about a year and a half, and then I started doing this thing where I was getting up kind of late and thinking, oh God, I don't want to go to work. And I was getting there late, and the boss started noticing that I was turning up late, and she was like, "Is everything okay?" you know? And I was like, yeah, no, everything's fine, just had to make sure my son got off to school, blah, 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 whatever I would say to her. It kept on happening for a little while, and she noticed it. And then one day she said, okay, we can't have you anymore because you're not sticking to like times and blah, 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 blah. And I was kind of upset. But then I had a thought in my head and was like, no, you said that you want to have your own business. I kept on saying I want to have my own business. I just want to work with Synthesis now. All I want to do is Synthesis. I was saying this. This is the
Yeah,
reason why
you
I was getting up
manifested.
late. I was
Yeah.
getting bored. I was like, I don't want to be there anymore. I want my own stuff,
Exactly. Exactly.
So the Most High said, okay, you asked for it. We're going to give it to you, you know? And it's the thing that people need to understand. Majority of the time when we ask for something, we are going to get it. So we need to be careful what we're asking for, because we might not be ready or might not be prepared for it, might not know how to handle it. But so that's what happened. And then yeah, I stopped working there, and then I was like, okay, cool. One day me and my mum and my son went out, and I'd done a video on Facebook. This was years ago. I was like, okay, I've officially finished working now. I'm gonna dedicate all my time to Synthesis, and I'm so excited for my future. And from that day, I just slowly progressed into doing clothing slowly, and then I finally decided in 2020, I decided to bring out my tarot reading to show people that I do tarot. That really took off quite well. People are really taking well to my tarot reading and stuff. And then I started showing people that I do my mediumship. People love that as well. And it's just allowing me to have more time for my son. We took a year off, obviously, for COVID. He was at school. He wasn't at school, sorry, for a whole year and a bit. So we was able to just talk about things. I was able to get to know my son better. I was able to get to know myself better with my son, if that makes sense. Because when your child's at school all the time, you don't really get to know your child, because the person that they are at home is not the same person that they are at school. And plus, I was able to teach my son the knowledge that I was getting from my guides and the books I was reading, and information I would take from documentaries and stuff like that, and build his confidence also. That's one thing that I've seen skyrocket in that whole year and a bit since he's been at home with me, me homeschooling him. He's so much more confident than he was when he was at school those 5 days a week with all
Wow.
those other children. He's able to do certain things. He's so much wiser. He loves himself where before he didn't like himself, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and he understands more of why he does things, whereas before he would do things because everybody else is doing it. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? So yeah,
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 you taught him to follow his own path and to not follow the
definitely.
crowd. That's
I don't want him
important.
to be a follower. I want him to be a leader. And this is what we are missing so much in Black communities, strong leaders. We need strong Black leaders, males and females, because the way that things are right now with, showing your ass and twerking and shit and selling your JJ to get money. Do you know what I mean? Like, I am not saying anyone that needs to do what they got to do, because I'm a smart person, Circumstances make you do certain things, but there are other ways that we can change, because we all come here with a talent, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So with us using our talents and our knowledge, we can get to amazing places.
I agree. I completely agree.
Mhm.
I like that you mentioned that you were showing your son documentaries, spending more time with him during the pandemic. So that was like a time that y'all got to become closer together, but also a time for you to teach him something outside of what school might be teaching him. Teach him
Definitely.
something different, because
Mhm.
that can be so powerful. I feel like a lot of parents need to listen to that and take heed, because the schools are not going to do enough. They're just not. And the people at school can only do what they know, can only teach you what they know. So until you teach your kids something different, they're stuck knowing the same thing as everybody else. So that's
Yeah.
kind of part of the cycle that we get stuck in, you
Yeah,
know?
and it's like at the end of the day, some teachers, and it's kind of majority of teachers, they're there for a paycheck. So they don't give a shit if your child is learning or not. They're getting paid,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of these children that do come from homes that they might be going through stuff, which is all of us. We all go through things. All of our families have problems. We all grow up with traumas. They don't know how to handle these children in a certain way. So your child, if they're going through something, will just get pushed to the back of a classroom or labeled as a bad child, but not
Mm-hmm.
understanding that that child has issues, that they need to be worked through. And every child learns differently, not they want us to be little robots to do and say, and it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're all little spirits when we're young, and a lot of us as little spirits are easily impacted on. So what you're being taught at home does show a lot about how you're going to grow up and what you're going to be like in different environments.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. You had mentioned you do a mediumship. Can you explain a little bit more what that means for
Right.
anybody who
Okay.
doesn't understand?
Yes. So with mediumship, I have clairaudience. Clairaudience is one of my psychic abilities. I believe we all have psychic abilities. This is about tapping into it. Um, some people have psychic abilities from when they're young and they grow with them. Some people can pick up on your psychic abilities as you get older. So with mediumship, I use my clairaudience, which is that I speak with spirits, or spirits more speak with me, and I can talk back. um, and they send me messages for other people or for myself, but I give messages to other people through my mediumship of people that have died, friends, family members. And a lot of the time when the messages come through, they're just messages of very loving, concerning messages to say, okay, this is what this is right now. Maybe you need to move in this direction to try and help people to better their lives. Or say, like, it could be someone's mother that can come through, or someone's dad. You know, I had a
Mm-hmm.
really loving mediumship reading with a female where her husband came through, and it was such a loving soul that he was such a loving person. Like I stayed there for longer than I should have because of the energy was so beautiful. So
Mm-hmm.
he was just saying to her, I'm always with you, and you can still talk to me even though I'm gone. Still speak to me. I know a lot of people will be like, oh, they've gone crazy because they're talking to nothing, but people don't understand that we are infinite beings, you know. We do not literally go just because we don't have a vessel, which is a body, you know, a sack, a shell, whatever you want to call it. We are still here. The spirit still stays around you. And a lot of the time, spirits still stay around because they want to help their loved ones on this planet. And when they start seeing that their loved ones are in a better place, then they feel more happier to move on because they've done what they needed to do, you know, in that sense, to uplift that person's energy. Because once someone's energy is uplifted and they can feel better within themselves, they are then able to help other people in their family to do the same thing, you know, to feel a higher vibration of energy and be more happy and more, you know, more loving and stuff.
Absolutely. So as far as, okay, can you break down for me what the difference is between tarot and what it is between the clairaudience that you just mentioned?
Clairaudience. Okay, so when I'm doing my tarot, I use divination cards. So I use tarot cards. I'll just show you the packet. I won't get all the cards out.
You're fine.
So this is one of the tarot cards. There's loads of different cards. There's those are tarot. Then you can have oracle cards, you know, things like that. Some people even make their own cards. So when I use the cards, the divination tools, it's just an energy that I feel. Whereas when I'm using my clairaudience, it's when I'm hearing spirit. So it's more of a feeling and a visual thing with the tarot. And with the with my clairaudience, it's a audio message basically. Yeah.
Okay. So you kind of combine the tarot with the clairaudience, or?
So when I'm doing tarot, I strictly stick to tarot. And then when I do my mediumship messages, I just stay with my mediumship messages. Oh, I work like that. Some other people work different. Some people combine the two. I prefer to work like that because I don't like to get distracted. I literally want to just concentrate on what I'm hearing from, you know, spirit, from whoever's loved one. And then when I'm using the cards, I get obviously vision. So that's a part of my clairvoyance that comes through to see things play out in certain ways, to give messages with the energy that's coming through the cards.
Okay. When you took that dive, when the job, you know, the job situation ended and you just like, okay, I'm going to do this full time. Was there ever a time that you almost gave up on your journey? And
so many times.
so what's the first time that you can call to mind, and what kept you going?
Okay, so after I said I was gonna stop working, when I did stop working, and then I said, all right, I'm dedicating my full time to synthesis. There was a time I was sewing jackets. I had to sew fur on jackets. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I mean, my grandmother used to sew clothes up together when we used to do dancing. So I've always had the knowledge of doing sewing and stuff. So that's something normal. But me actually doing it myself as an adult, I was kind of clueless. I had somebody that I will thank for her helping me. A girl called Sabrina. She's a really lovely girl that helped me at that point. She gave me some ideas and she was there to help me. And it was just a struggle, you know, because when you're creating something yourself, especially me as a person, I'm like, oh my God, is this good enough? And then I was like, oh shit, I'm just gonna give up because I don't like it. I don't like the way it looks. You know, are people actually gonna buy it because it's not done by a fashion designer that's been to fashion school, blah blah blah. So then I kind of went off the rails in a sense that I kind of distracted myself and I just started doing other things. I thought, you know what, all right, I'm just going to leave that and put it on the back burner for a bit. So I've always been on and off my path because of lack of confidence in my ability. So this comes back to one of my demons that I had to deal with, you know? So, yeah.
So it's like you're constantly having to believe. This is the right path. You're going in the right direction. Having faith in your journey, you know? That makes sense.
It's about having faith in what the Most High is putting in front of me, because it's not, this is not, like I said before, this is not something that I thought I would be doing. I mean, I know myself in a sense that I like to dress a certain way. I like to look good and things like that, but I didn't think that I would be actually sitting there, what do you call it, customizing clothes and painting, you know,
Yeah.
like I've done some paintings on my jackets, and it's literally coming from, I think it's coming from my past life, that I'm just painting these things, and the detail that I'm putting into it, and the energy that I'm putting into it is something, it's kind of like, it's kind of miraculous, you know, it's like it's a beautiful thing, because I didn't really think that I would be doing this sort of stuff. So I'm just trusting in what the Most High is telling me to do through my guides, you know, whoever he sends down to me at the time.
Well, what I'm kind of getting that you're like kind of hinting at is that you're a creator. You know, you're creating things, and maybe things that you never thought you would be able to or comfortable enough to create something like that. But it's like it's flowing through you and it's coming out onto whatever it is. You know, it could be a
Yeah,
t-shirt, it could be a painting, it could be whatever, but it's that energy is flowing through you and you're allowing it to, you know, and
definitely.
it's like kind of like not questioning it and just having faith that, okay, if somebody, whoever needs
Like
this is
this,
going to find it, you know.
that's
So
it.
i
Definitely.
I completely hear you there. You had
I
said
believe that
something.
we're all art. Sorry, I believe that we ourselves are art. Like, there's so many people, like the way that you're wearing your hair now, Khadijah.
Mm-hmm.
That's you, how you express yourself as a Black queen, you know? The way that I am now, I'm expressing myself in some sort of way. We are all art. So if we are not able to create somehow, I believe that we are all going to go crazy. And this is another reason why they put us in schools to be uniform, to keep us dark and dreary as they can, for us to not be able to express ourselves. When you can't express yourselves, that means your power is being taken away from you. When you can express yourself as a artist, because we are all art in our own way, then
Mm-hmm.
you're free to have your mind free. And this is the thing about what we need to understand. There's two sides of the brain, the left and the right side. One side's very logical. They want us to stay with that logical side, so we're always, you know, in that monkey mind. But we
Mm-hmm.
need to be free to express and create ourselves. Once we start doing that, we are so much more happier, you know. And obviously Instagram and Facebook and all of these platforms that allow us to be creators is showing how creative us as human beings really are. And if we was to delve into that more, life would be totally different, I believe, anyway.
Absolutely. I'm loving these quotes you're giving because I'm already thinking like, okay, this is gonna be a great audio clip on Instagram. This is gonna make people like find out, you know, like I think that's really, really good messages that you're delivering right now.
Thank you.
What I would say, you had mentioned something about past lives.
Mhm.
So with that, what is your belief system as far as afterlife, current life? You know, what is your belief system about what happens to people when they pass on?
Okay, so I believe that we are all reincarnated. Um, I know for a fact, with what I believe, that I've been here so many times. My guides have told me that I'm a certain age, which I'm not going to say now because I probably sound crazy, but but yeah. So I've been
Well,
here
no, no,
loads of.
no. Tell us what it is because I'm kind of curious to know.
Oh, I think it's kind of a big number. So people might be like, "What?" All right, so they told me that I'm 19 million years old. I don't know if that's because,
19
but
minutes.
for us to be able to come, she laughing like you crazy bitch.
No. I'm just a little surprised. I'm like, okay, I was expecting like 1,000, but 19 million. Okay.
At the end of the day, we have Arturian, Palladian, ancient dimensional beings that have been here way before we've even known what Earth is. Earth was not Earth before it was Earth. I won't delve into it because we'll be here all day. But
Okay.
there's so much more than we know about certain things, you know. And I know that my ancient guides have spoken to me sometimes and told me that certain things are a certain way for a reason. And what I believe is that we're here to evolve and change this world as much as we can. But I do know that once we do leave our physical bodies, then we go on to the spirit realm to help guide our, like I said, our other people, our family members, our friends, to try and make better choices. And even if they make the wrong choices, to try and still be there for them, because our guides love us unconditionally. They never leave our sides. They're not there to say, point the finger like us as humans are, oh, you're doing wrong. They don't do that. They just try and sympathize with you and try and say, you know what, I've been here before. I understand what you're going through, but I'm going to try and help you get out of it. But at the same time, as a human being, you're being a person, you have the right of free will. We're able to make our own choices. So, yeah, hope that's answered your question.
That did, absolutely. How are you feeling, by the way, about how this interview's going?
Oh, I'm loving it. I'm really glad, and like I said, I appreciate that I'm able to actually talk about myself a bit more, because I'm kind of like an introvert. I've got an extroverted side of me, but I don't really like to put myself out there that much, because that's just me as a person. I'm quite a mysterious person, kind of like high priestess energy.
Yeah, I feel it. And I'm glad that you're willing to even put yourself out there and share your story, because that's something I'm sure the people listening are appreciating, just the knowledge you have to share and your unique perspective,
Thank you.
No problem. Okay, so I want to transition a little bit. I wanted to talk about how you had mentioned you got your property. Was that a purchase that you made, or was that renting?
No, this is renting. In London, I don't know how it is in America, but obviously we get like housing, so this is me renting. So yeah.
Okay. That's cool.
I did manifest this.
But that's still like your own space, your own place to be, That's something I know you definitely appreciate compared to like living with your mom and everything, Not that it's bad to live with your parents. I'm just saying it's different, It's different living on your own.
To live with your parents.
Yeah.
Me anyway, because I'm a free spirit. I want to be able to do what I want to do. I've always been an independent person, and if you are an independent person, because obviously you want to be able to do what you want, If I want to walk around naked, then I can do that.
Exactly. You don't have to worry about nothing. You be you all the time.
Hang out.
That's the vibe. Absolutely. We talked about how you started Synthesis Chronicles and everything, but I want to talk a little bit more about, like, you can be general, but like, what are some methods or ways that you grow your page? Like, what are some things? Is it being consistent? Is it hashtags? Like, what are some things that helped you grow your page to where it is now?
It's definitely about appealing to the audience 100%. When I was thinking about Synthesis Chronicles, I wanted to make sure that I was going to open up people's minds, so get their brains ticking a bit, maybe if they're feeling some type of way, like put a post up that might make them think about what I've posted, think, oh, okay, that's something definitely that will definitely help appeal to the audience and make them think outside of the box, because we all are used to thinking the same things over and over again. Give them something else to look at to make them question their reality, because the way that they might see something is not the way that everybody else sees it,
Yeah.
And definitely hashtags always help to try and bring in different people, because there's so much different people in this world. And when we're looking at other people in this world, it can't be just specific to one person. The same thing with, like I'm saying, about appealing to the audience. So yeah, definitely hashtags. And another thing that I decided to do is that add people. Once you start adding people, then they add you back, So that's something that's always good.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes sense. Okay. I had a question. I'm trying to, it was on the tip of my tongue. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So you do have like a unique style to your page. And I noticed that with like your branding and everything. So I want to know, like, do you do all of that? Do you make all your content yourself? Like, or is it you're like compiling, or like how does your process work with the creation?
The creation works in the sense that whatever I see that works for my reality at the moment, I try to get that and incorporate it into a way that's going to be very visual. So because I'm a person that I visualize things. So um yeah, that's how I decided to do it. I wanted to make sure that I'm going to be very visual to people with what I type on the page as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna, because obviously all of us like aesthetics. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
So with the aesthetics of the picture, I like to incorporate the word so it kind of matches up with things.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's one of the ways that I do it.
Okay. That's
Mhm.
very cool. Um, what was the time that sparked the whole leap into tarot reading and mediumship? Like, was there like an instance where you remember where you were like, you brought that message to someone and that kind of like helped you click the idea for tarot reading and mediumship?
Okay, so when I did start my tarot readings on Synthesis LDN, when I showed people, I said, I'm going to start something different. I just posted it. I had a dream. I have a dream. Sounding like Malcolm X and stuff. Um, yeah, I had a dream, and my guides were just trying to say to me, like, it's time to show people what you can do, what we're trying to show you, what you're able to do. So with that, I just started doing readings like no, first I showed people that I do tarot. I just posted it saying I'm going to start doing tarot. And then I started doing Synthesis Sundays. Every Sunday I would do Synthesis Sundays, which I think I'm going to be bringing back, but I shouldn't have said that. Maybe I should have kept that secret.
It's okay. It's okay.
But anyway, um, yes, I started doing Synthesis Sundays, and I started just inviting people on Synthesis LDN to come and speak with me about their journey and stuff like that. And as I progressed with doing that, I started noticing that my guides wanted me to start using my clear audience while I'm doing this. So then I thought, okay, then let me just do my mediumship reading with it and show people that I'm able to connect with my angels, because I work very closely with angels. They're amazing. Angels are always there when I'm at my lowest. They're
Mm.
literally there all the time. So yeah, I just decided to work with my angels and my center masters and use my mediumship to get more messages out, because there's not one way you can get messages out. There's so many ways that we can get messages out, and this is literally what a light worker is. It's a messenger. That's an angel. It
Mm.
means an angel means messenger in Hebrew, I believe. So yeah, that's what it is really.
Okay. Have you ever had any not so great experiences with the tarot reading or with the mediumship? Um, has it ever had
Uh,
an impact on you?
okay, yes. In the sense that it takes a lot of my energy when I do this, and this is what people don't really understand. So when I'm doing my mediumship readings, that takes literally more than me just using tarot by itself.
Mm-hmm.
So with me feeling drained sometimes, so I had to learn not to be somebody that's go 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 go. That's my nature. I'm a very go 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 person.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to learn to sit back and be like, okay, you're not doing readings today, Natasha. You know, oh, I've just said my whole name.
TT, you're not doing readings today, TT.
I'm not doing readings today, TT. You're not doing readings today, TT. So with me understanding that I'm not doing readings, it's okay, because at the end of the day, I am drained because I have to tap into a different realm at the end of the day to be able to get these messages through.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing that really took a toll on my body, not so much my mental health, because um, it's just a natural thing that I'm able to do, but it's literally my body, because I need to just be able to gather my energy back. If for a medium to do mediumship readings, I have to meet spirit on a vibrational level. That's why I tried my best to keep my vibrations high, because if my vibration was low, I won't be tapping into the right energies. I'll be tapping into those lower vibrational energies, and I've been there before, and I don't want to go back to that, and I'm not trying to do that, and I won't be able to give the correct information that I'm able to tap into when I do these readings for people and get the answers and the knowledge that they're giving to me to send through to other people.
So how do you keep your vibrations high?
Music. I love music.
Anything else?
One way. Affirmations. I believe affirmation is confirmation. I love my affirmations. Writing. I'm a scribe. I love writing. Writing is something that helps me. I think writing can help everybody. Even when there was a time when I would be writing and there'll be tears dropping on the page. You know?
Yeah. No, I understand.
It's expressing, I'm allowing myself to be able to speak, I'm not actually speaking it, but I'm writing it down for that emotion to be passed through, because when we harbor our emotions too much, it can drive you mad, literally, and it doesn't allow you to I'm hearing like sieve through the bullshit, it's like flour. If there's pieces of clumps in the flour when you're sieving it, you don't want the clumps, you just want the purity of it to come through,
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's something. Those are some things that I do. And obviously I just talk a lot to what people might think is to myself, but it's to my guides, them sending me messages and me tapping in, and also meditating when I can, going for walks, being around water. My moon sign is Cancer, so I've got that emotional side of me.
I think I have the same moon sign too, if I'm not mistaken. The Cancer vibe, yeah. But I don't like Cancers, man. I don't know. I had some bad experiences with the Cancers. Not moon sign Cancers, but actual Cancers,
Right, okay.
But
I can get that though, because if you're Aries and they're a Cancer, then you're very fiery and they're very emotional. So with your fiery side and their emotional side, there's that Cancerian people can be quite manipulative emotionally when they're ready, And then with an Aries person can be very straightforward and blunt and in your face. And if you don't like it, you're gonna get it,
Yeah. No, for real. For real. No, I have that side of me that I'm still working with, because that's kind of like been something, that fiery spirit, that free spirit, that energy within me has been very like conflicting in relationships, because I'm just like a me person, like I'm gonna do it if I want to do it. I don't care what you're like, regardless of what you plan on doing, I'm gonna do what I plan on doing. Like I'm gonna hold true to myself. And also it's just like, also the fire can be like, like just like not even on purpose, but like just like hurting people, like I have unintentionally. Go ahead.
I don't want to. This is what I just heard. I heard sometimes when you're angry, you don't know when to shut up.
Yeah. I don't. I just. Well, yeah. That's spot on right there. I need to work on that. That's something I definitely need to work on, is just like my mouth, because like I'll say without thinking, like, so I'm not thinking it through. I'm not thinking about how that might make someone feel. I'm just like responding. And that's something I need some growth with. Absolutely.
I think all of us do though. I think that's that at the end of the day, things that we don't understand is that we have all the elements within us, in our charts, and sometimes we have more of one element than others. And that's all of us. We're all growing in some way to recognize how to act or react or respond or whatever. But there's no problem with that, because as long as you're aware of it, then you will work on it. If you're not aware of it, then you're not going to work on it.
Yeah.
Sorry, my cat's just jumped up.
You're fine. How many cats do you have?
Oh, no, I'm not a cat lady, just one.
Okay. Sorry, I wasn't trying to do you like that. I'm sorry. I have multiple dogs, so that's why I was just like, oh, you have cats? Okay, how many cats? I collect dogs, so that's what I do. Yeah,
I love them.
They're amazing. Cats are too. Okay. You had mentioned you getting your property, you getting your job, you manifested that in your life. What are some other things that you've manifested in your life? Maybe good or bad?
I've manifested just, to be honest, just to be more of myself, to be more authentic, to be honest. And in the way that I say, me expressing my tarot, my mediumship readings, my rituals that I do for people, because at the end of the day, manifestation is all about belief, your belief systems, what you believe you can do. And I've known that I've always had abilities to do certain things. So me sitting here manifesting Synthesis, basically, growing it as a brand and becoming more of myself. So that's one of the major things that I know that I've manifested. Holidays, for being someone that hasn't been out of the country for from the age of like 15 to the age of 20 something. And I manifested I was able to go on holiday to Spain a few times, and I've been back to Barbados a few times.
Y'all call vacations holiday.
Yeah,
like y'all go on holiday, we go on vacation. So that's cool. I like that. We're gonna have to tap in more often, because I like the vibe. I like the vibe here. It's a good place.
I feel the same.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So we kind of touched briefly a little bit, but touch on some relational, like dealing with a partner, or if you come across your soulmate or twin flame, like they like to say, have you had those type of experiences, or what type of relationship experiences have you learned, and what have you learned from them?
In my relationships, one thing that I have definitely learned is to always take my time with myself, not to rush into certain things, because when we rush into things, they don't usually work, like I was saying before. When it comes to relationships, it's a lot about getting to know yourself just as much as you getting to know that other person, because we always change from one minute to the next, within us growing as a person, getting to know ourselves, and also with the moon phases.
Yeah,
that helps as well. That really does impact on stuff. But
what do you mean
with relationships,
with the moon phases?
Okay.
What do you mean?
So from Monday to Sunday, there's different days of the week, of course. So Mondays are for the moon, and that's the sun. Sorry. Monday is the moon, and then we have Tuesday will be Mars. Tuesday will be Mars. That's the planet Mars. Wednesday will be Mercury, and then Thursday will be Jupiter, and then Friday will be Venus, and Saturday will be Saturn, and then we have Sunday as the sun. So with these different days of the weeks, it taps into our energies, and it does affect us. And then when we have the moon phases, we have waxing gibbous, waning gibbous, last quarters, and so on and so forth. I won't go on because it will be just
a long one.
It's kind of long getting into all of it, but it all it affects us, how our attitude is, how our moods are, how the planet moves around us, our energy just shifts each time. So this is what I mean by that we can change from one minute to the next because of the different way that the planet is moving around us in the days of the week and stuff like that, with which planet is coinciding with the day. So with that, it's just about really getting to know, like I said, getting to know myself and trusting that what you want out of the relationship, you're able to get. A lot of the times when I have been with certain people, I haven't really known myself, so I haven't been able to know that person because they didn't know themselves. I think we attract a lot of the time a bit of what we are. So if we're confused, we're going to attract a confused partner. If we're settling for less, we're going to have a partner that settles for less, you know. If we don't know what we want, partner's not going to be able to give you what you want, you know. It all comes down to our love language as well. And that's something else that we should all try to learn, our own personal love language, because then we'll be able to show our partner our love language and then understand our partner's love language also, you know. But yeah, it's not really easy to I'm a single person. I've been single for a while. It's not easy to get a partner that that I can actually relate to, because I'm a sapiosexual in the sense that I love the mind. I love to try and understand the mind, like, but at the same time, I have to be physically attracted to you. So you can't just be like a great mind and then I look at you and I feel sick.
I understand. Yeah, it has to be both. It has to be both.
Yeah.
That makes sense. What is your love language?
My love language is this actions, like not just saying something, but actually being able to follow through. Because I believe that I'm that sort of person. When I say to my son, for instance, that I'm going to do something for him, it might not be at that instant, but it's going to get done. Yeah. And that's me showing him that I love him, because otherwise I could sit there and say, you know, oh, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, and never do it. That's me letting him down, you know. And I wouldn't want that done to myself. So why would I do that to somebody else? So that's a big factor of my love language.
Absolutely. And I would say even not even just letting him down, like if you don't do it, you're kind of letting yourself down too, because you're kind of like telling yourself that you can't rely on you, you know.
That's it. So 100%. If I can't rely on myself, then why do I expect anyone else to rely on me? I don't want somebody that is unreliable around me. So I have to be a reliable person to attract that sort of energy.
Absolutely. That makes complete sense. You had mentioned you traveled to Barbados. You even mentioned that part of your family is from, say the name again,
Uruguay.
Uruguay? Am I pronouncing it like, I always thought it was Uruguay. Uruguay?
Uruguay. Well, what, yeah, Uruguay.
Uruguay, okay. So what was that like? Like, how did you get to London? Like, I'm sorry. Here. You were born here?
I was born in England. My mother is from Uruguay, South America. So she was born there. And my dad was born in Barbados.
Oh, wow.
So I haven't been to Uruguay yet, but I hope to go in the future. Something else I'm manifesting. But because it's like, I think it's like 18 hours away. So from London. So it's quite far. So it's going to be something that I am not trying to sit in a scotched up little seat for such a long time. Trying to go for pairs, honey, you know?
I understand. Yeah.
I'm going to have to sleep, you know? So, yeah. What was your question again, sorry, about Barbados?
So what are some of your favorite places that you've traveled to?
Definitely Barbados is somewhere that I've when I went there, I've been there for the past 2 years. So it was last year I went and a year before. And it's just really I've been going there since the age of 5 to 15, but then I took a long gap. But when I went there for the past 2 years, it really fed my soul, because I was able to tap into my ancestors' energy a lot, which really helped me grow as a psychic medium, you know. Just getting back to my roots, you know, and respecting where I come from. Like my mom always said to me, go back to go forward. And I really believe that, because once you start understanding where you come from, then you can respect, you know, what you have come from, and then see where you want to go for the future, because I believe that it's about evolving, right? So in Barbados, my dad was born in a house made out of wood. You know, there's a lot of wood houses in Barbados, and like in the Caribbean, there's a lot of wood houses and stuff. So it came from nothing. So those sort of places, it showed me to be grateful for what I do have right now. Grateful for what sacrifices my parents have made for me, regardless of what's happened throughout my life. You know, not everything's been rosy, but it's just being respectful to my ancestors and stuff like that. You know, paying some homage to them and saying thank you for the sacrifices that they've been able to make to get me to this place right now. Because clearly I'm here, I'm doing synthesis. You know, I'm doing it for a reason. I'm not trying to sit here and just be like, okay, yeah, I'm here, I'm going to sit on my arse and do nothing. I have things to do that are going to pay homage to the people that were here before me, you know, because obviously our ancestors want us to come and evolve and grow to better ourselves, because they weren't able to do certain things that we can do now. So yeah,
I say that all the time. I'm like, if you have the ability to do something that your ancestors they didn't even have the ability, they didn't even have the possibility to do, like something like become a millionaire. If it's possible for, you see other Black people becoming millionaires, you see them doing it, it's possible for you. And just the fact that it's possible now and it wasn't before is just something that it's like, okay, if building generational wealth is something that is possible for us, why aren't we doing it? You know, if carrying something positive on to the next generation is possible for us and we can show people a different path, why aren't you doing that? You know what I mean? Whatever the vision is that you see, because I do believe that we're all on a different path. But yeah, I agree with you there. Is there any sayings or quotes that you live by that help motivate you?
Each one teach one.
Each one teach one.
I love that saying, because like when I learn something, I don't want to keep it to myself. I want to try and teach other people, you know, because
it's selfish to keep it to yourself.
Yeah, I'm not a sort of, I'm never jealous of anybody and what they want to do. I want everyone to do good, because at the end of the day, that's what we're all here to do: grow and evolve, you know, and do better for the children that are coming up behind us. And yeah, I don't get jealous for other people, because what I want to manifest for myself is not the same thing that someone else wants to manifest. Just because I'm doing my spiritual work, I do it my way. I'm not going to ever do it someone else's way. Their way's their way, and that's totally fine. But if I can help somebody to open up to a certain way, you know, to use their abilities in some way, that's totally fine. Another thing is teamwork makes the dream work. I love that. I always say this to my son, even though sometimes he doesn't listen because he's a twin. I believe in teamwork makes the dream work, because if we all take our time to work together towards one thing, you know, then we can build something amazing, you know. Our Black generational wealth is not something that is new. We've had this so many years ago with Black Wall Street and all the places that you had in America that they put lakes on top and things like that, you know. We've had this. Why do we not have it right now? It's because we're not working together. We're not working as a team.
This is and passing on the knowledge, like
that's it.
Passing it on. Like, I feel like we can only teach what we know, but if we're taking the time to really learn, especially wealth, learning how to obtain wealth, how to pass on wealth, learning those practical things, you know, and putting things into place so that, you know, your legacy can carry on beyond you, you know, because it's not just about you. And that's for anybody listening. It's not just about you. That's why even with my page, like, I share other people's messages before I even started sharing my own, because it's not just about me. And I'm not going to be always able to deliver the messages that people need to hear. So I need to put the spotlight on other people who can, you know what I mean? So I just feel like it's not just, it's like you said, teamwork makes the dream work, and you get further together than you do by yourself. So I agree.
This is another reason why they gave me the name Synthesis, because synthesis is to unite, you know? It's like a conglomerate, to work together, to unify. And I believe that's a big thing, to work together. Like the quote, I can't remember it properly, but it's something like, if you want to go far, go alone. But if you want...
You and me, you're in my head or something, because I literally was just thinking the same thing. If you want to go far, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So that's exactly it. Yeah, you and I right there. I got you.
That's the thing. For us to go further, like we were saying, it's not just about us. This is not just about me. I would love to be able to be with more people like you, more like-minded people, and do some amazing things, because we are missing out on so much. And there's so much knowledge and so much education, so much wealth and so much spiritual abundance that we do have as Black people. And once we're together and unify, sorry, that's my cat shaking the table.
No worries.
And unify, then we can do a lot of things for the generations that are coming up behind us. You know, my son's 12 years old, he'll be 13 this year coming. So with him growing older, I'm looking at things more in a long-term way now. Okay, I'm doing synthesis, I'm doing this solely, but if I get great people around me, what amazing things that I can put forward for him in the future and for his children in the future, you know, to live in a more comfortable and safe environment, in a more loving environment. Because when it comes to Black people, to be honest, Black people hate themselves, you know, because this is what we've been taught, to hate ourselves. It's a sad thing, but with a lot of self-hatred comes jealousy towards our own race. And with the jealousy towards our own race, then we're just fucking up. We're not gonna grow. Do you know what I'm saying? Because
it's crabs in a barrel.
That's it. You know,
crabs
there's a lot of other races, like I could say, like the Chinese people, they work together and they make millions. Indian people, they work with their family, you know, and then we're stuck with trauma. So Black families are out doing all these outlandish things. I'm not saying everybody, because everyone's different, but doing all these outlandish things and so focused and stuck in the traumatized mental state that they can't see anything past trauma, you know. They don't try and work through that. And I know it's not an easy thing to do, but it takes understanding that you need to heal yourself. And that's not an easy thing to do either. But that comes within doing shadow work and looking at your dark side and telling your dark side to fuck off. Because you've got to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I completely agree with you. I think that we was talking about this in another interview. Oh my gosh, that's so crazy. It's 222 right here. That's the second time too during this interview that I saw 222. And I just caught it. Like as soon as it switched. So that's crazy. But what I was gonna say is, we get stuck in that victim mindset of, you know, this is what's happened to me, or this is what's happened to, you know, in my family, or, you know, we do have a lot of separation, and it is due to like current traumas, past traumas, I feel. But I do agree with you there. We do need to heal ourselves in order to help others, and to make an impact, because, you know, we're all broken in some way. And it's up to us to fix ourselves. So it's your choice. You know, if you want to stay in a broken space, that's your choice. If you want to heal, that's your choice. But it's all up to you, you know?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Whoa. Okay. I have like 3 more questions. So what is self-care to you? And how do you self-care?
Self-care to me, it took me a long time to learn self-care. So self-care to me is learning boundaries. That's a really big thing, because from a young age, a lot of us get told, no, you know, you're doing wrong and you have to listen to me. You know, parents are always like, I'm your parent, you got to do what I tell you to say. or you can get parents that are narcissistic, and they think that you're an extension of them, so you have to live your way a certain life, you know. So with me growing up, I've had to learn that I am me, and if I don't want to do something, I am entitled to say no. I'm able to say no. So I practice a lot of boundaries. Another form of self-care that I take strongly on is pampering myself, you know. You know, making sure that I look good for me. Like, I will get dressed up and I don't even leave the house sometimes.
Yeah.
Just to take pictures.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not?
Nothing wrong with that, you know? I want to look good for myself. And with me doing that, it shows my son that I am able to take care of myself sometimes. So he needs to learn to take care of himself, because if I'm walking around looking homeless all the time,
I
you know?
understand. No, I agree. I completely agree.
Yeah.
Getting dressed up for you, because I know for me, like, regardless if I'm in a relationship, I always like walking out the door and like looking in the mirror and liking what I see. You know, like
Yeah.
that's a shift for me, because like you know, when I was younger, I didn't love myself. I didn't like the way I looked in the mirror. So it's like that shift had to happen. But the loving on you, that's that part, you know, that's important.
The thing that I always say is the thing that I like to go by is fly life. So FLY, first love yourself. Life, FYF, love yourself first. You know?
Yeah.
Come first at the end of the day, because if you are putting, like I said before, putting other people first all the time, you're never gonna know your limitation of when to stop to put people before you, you know. So that's something.
It's a habit. And if you get in a habit of putting other people first, you never put yourself first. So
that's it, definitely.
I agree. I completely agree. What are some books or resources that you recommend everybody check out?
Okay, I'm just gonna look at my little library underneath here.
You're fine.
I'll pull a book out.
Yeah. You're good.
Okay. So one book that I read a long time ago, if I can grab it. My neighbor gave me this book. This is a really good book. This is called The Purpose-Filled Woman. So this book really taught me a lot about obviously the Most High, like some scriptures from the Bible and stuff like that. Even though I'm not a person that has read the Bible fully, because I've just never been into church, even though I was born and raised Catholic. I never liked church from when I heard that a priest molested a child. So I was like, no, I don't like that stuff. But this book really helped understand that when you feel something within your soul and the Most High is putting you on a path, that's your purpose. And once you have that purpose, it's going to fill up your soul and you can move mountains with what you want to do, with that passion that you have, right? That's one book. Let's see another one. Gosh, I got a few here. This is, oh gosh, I have to bend down. It's a bit odd, but this is called Nobody's Child.
Okay.
So this book was when I was really at a point in my lowest, and I felt very lost. Obviously, me being a psychic medium, me not being able to attach to my true self. This book was about a child that always felt left out, different. This child was abused when they were younger, and then they grew up to understand why certain things happened in their life. And through that, they started helping other people to understand that sometimes things happen for you. And I'm not saying that it's good that that person was molested. Obviously, it's a horrible thing what that person had to go through. But they went on to write a book that is great. It really touched my soul, because I could relate in the sense that they didn't know what they were doing, you know. They delved into the wrong stuff, you know, following the wrong crowd and stuff like that. But at the end of it, they decided to empower themselves and change their life around.
Okay. Nobody's Child and A Purpose-Filled Woman.
Yep. Do you want me to give you one more, or
Yeah.
are we good?
You're good. If you have one more.
Yeah, okay, let me just try and find it. I have to, like, literally dig into this library here. Where is it? This is it. So this is Victory Over Darkness.
Okay.
It's a really good book. This really helped me to understand that the dark forces that are working against me, so to speak, are all a part of something that I need to triumph over. That just because the darkness is there, it does not mean that it's going to be there forever, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That you can have victory over hard times, over obstacles that you go through in life. And just to understand that there's so much more to you than you know, because we all think that we're this little tiny speck, you know, but a tiny speck can shine so bright sometimes when you take your time to look at yourself in your uniqueness and understand that you are here to do great things if you allow yourself to, with the faith that you have in the Most High, because the Most High has put you here with your own talents, you know, your own gifts. So once you start understanding that that darkness is not going to be forever, like how can I say it? Everything's temporary in life, you know. Nothing lasts forever. Thoughts, feelings, emotions, just as quick as they come, they go even quicker sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Okay. Thank you for sharing those.
Cool.
All right. Pretend you are 5 years from now.
Okay.
Where are you? And what have
Oh,
you achieved?
what
And
have I achieved?
say I am now, or I
Okay.
am.
I am in a lovely, warm climate. I'm able to work from the beach. I'm able to see my son doing spectacular things with his life because he's seen his mom do great things also. I'm very happy and very abundant in every way, you know. I have loving people around me, honest, truthful people around me, even if the truth may hurt sometimes, let's go. um, and I'm just at a better place than I was 5 years ago. I'm I'm happy with myself. You know, I'm everything that I never thought I would be. I am a purpose-filled woman.
You know,
Honestly,
hearing you say that, it sounds like you're saying it right now. Like it sounds like that's how you feel right now.
definitely.
Yeah.
Well, when I get to the beach, then I'm gonna be a bit more better. But yeah,
Yeah, I got you. The beach, the laptop on the beach life, that's all it's in the future for everybody. That's something
yeah.
everybody's looking forward to. Okay. Is there anything that you have obtained now that you didn't have 5 years ago?
My
So
sanity.
not in real life. I mean, for like the 5 years.
Right. Okay. But from 5 years from now,
Yeah,
I'm
from
still
five
there.
years. You're still there.
I've obtained a really beautiful house that I created in this cranium of mine.
Mm.
Um, I've obtained a loving partner that understands me and loves me unconditionally, and I can do the same back to them. And I've obtained a happy family that works together in unison, that always has each other's back, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and generational wealth. I have all of that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's within you. All of that
Hmm.
is within you and you shall have it. It's yours. It's
Same to
yours.
you, sweetheart. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. I don't have any more questions.
Okay.
Is there one last bit of wisdom that you want to give people? Um, and then we can go into like how to get in touch with you and everything.
Okay. What I would say to people is to be themselves, you know, love yourself so much. It's so hard to love yourself on a good day, let alone on a bad day. You know what I mean? Sometimes. So
Mm-hmm.
make sure you're loving yourself all the time, and just take care of yourself as much as you can. That's another thing that's hard. We're not taught how to actually take care of ourselves properly. We're not taught how to take time with ourselves to allow those thoughts that come in our mind not to control how we feel, because like I said, thoughts are only there temporarily. What thoughts are you entertaining? Only plant positive seeds in your head. It's so easy to plant negative seeds. That's why the world's the way that it is. It's so easy. It's easier to do bad things than it is to do good things, So I'll just say to people, plant those positive seeds in your head, love on yourself, and know that whatever dream that you have in your head is possible. The impossible is not impossible. It's so possible, especially when you have faith in the Most High, because the Most High is here to send the angels and the guides to help you to get to the place that you need to be. First, you need to believe in yourself. Once you start believing in yourself, everything else is secondary. It just comes easy,
Absolutely. I love that. I love that. That is such a great note. I appreciate you so much, TT, for coming on to my show. I'm very grateful for the knowledge that you have shared, and I know that everybody listening right now, they're grateful for you as well. How do people get in contact with you?
Okay, so you can get in contact with me on Synthesis _LDN. Synthesis is spelled SINTHESIS _LDN. Or you can get in contact with me on SinthesisChronicles. So those are my two pages. Synthesis LDN is where I take all my bookings if anyone's interested in getting any tarot readings, mediumship readings, or spiritual coaching, healing. And Synthesis Chronicles is my community, guys. That's where I try my best to send positive information to you guys, make you think out the box, open your mind, and allow yourself to feel your spirituality, because you are a spiritual being before anything else. At the end of the day, you are a spirit, living in a body, not a body. Sorry, is it the right thing?
Yeah, you said it. You said it right. Your spirit living in a physical body, not a physical spirit living in. Yeah, I got you. I completely understand.
Yeah, basically, your spirit is everything. That's what. When you're sleeping, you're still doing stuff. You're still manifesting everything in your dreams. So just please join my community. Get in touch with me if anyone would like a reading. I'm here to help as many people as I can. I am not God.
Yeah.
But I am in God's form, so
Okay. I love that. We appreciate you so much, TT, for coming on. I'm so grateful for you and your knowledge and your positive energy, your positive vibes. So just keep doing what you're doing. You are on the right path, and I will talk to you in the future.
Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you for inviting me on. Literally, I said this before and I can't say it enough. I'm so grateful for meeting someone that has such a beautiful energy. Your energy is amazing. What you're doing with your page is also amazing, The amount of people that you're inspiring is great. And I want to meet more people like you. I hope that we meet more Black affluent people, not only in money, but in abundance spiritually, with all this love that we have to show.
Completely. Absolutely. All right. Well, you enjoy the rest of your day, TT. I appreciate you, and we will be talking soon. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.